Temperance Lloyd, Mary Trembles and Susanna Edwards of Bideford died in 1682. Alice Molland died in 1685. These are believed to have been the last people in England to be executed for witchcraft and the magical art. The accusations against them began when a shopkeeper said that Temperance Lloyd had summoned the devil. The devil then supposedly manifested once in the form of a man and again in the form of a cat. They said he was summoned to bewitch an illness upon another woman in the village. Temperance was accused of causing death through witchcraft, while Susanna and Mary faced charges of causing illness in the same way. Under terrible pressure and no doubt utterly terrified, the women blamed each other for their alleged crimes. Not surprisingly, they were all found guilty and were hung in 1682. Little is known about Alice, however. In most articles, she is merely an afterthought in the last lines. Her death is sometimes stated as having occurred in 1684. I've been unable to find out exactly what she was accused of, whether she confessed or even how old she was, or whether she had children or a husband to mourn her passing. To our modern eyes, what was done to these women is clearly a crime, one of the many injustices made against women. But 300 years ago it was a very real epidemic, and one that required meticulous examination and evidence. The Witch Hunter's Guide, also known as Malleus Maleficarum, presented a specific set of guidelines that supposedly identified a witch. This ranged from recognising a witch's familiar to the infamous devil's mark found on their body. We will never know how many fell victim to the witchcraft craze of the early modern Europeans, but it has been estimated that over 60,000 men, women and children were executed for crimes of magic and associated with the devil. In 2013, an online petition was created in an attempt to pardon the 3 Bideford witches of their accused crimes. Let's hope they get their pardon. This legend can be traced back to the 17th century, when it is said that a friendly old white witch called Mother Ludlam used to live in a local cave close to the village of Frensham in Surrey. Being a very friendly witch, Mother Ludlam had a respected reputation by lending local villagers anything they asked for. But if you lent something from Mother Ludlam, she had just one thing that you must adhere to. You must always return it within 2 days. Anyone who wanted to borrow anything from Mother Ludlam were required to stand on the boulder outside of a cave and clearly state what they required. Once they got home, they would find that object on the doorstep waiting for them. One day, a local man visited the cave, now known as Mother Ludlam's Hall, and asked to borrow the witch's cauldron. Hesitant to grant his request, as this was her own personal property, Mother Ludlam reluctantly agreed, but reminded the man that it must be returned within 2 days. We will never know, but for whatever reason he failed to return the cauldron to Mother Ludlam. She was gripped by a rage. She left the confines of her cave to seek vengeance for the cauldron not being returned. The man, now scared and terrified because he'd heard Mother Ludlam was coming after him, sought refuge in Frensham Church, and this is where the cauldron remains today. Whether or not this legend holds any truth remains conjecture, but what we do know is that the cauldron was used for centuries by the priests of Frensham for brewing their church ale. It is even used for catering at religious festivals.